here on the red carpet with Steve Sheinkin. He's the Newbery Honor winner this year for the book Bomb.
Right.
And I want to tell you, first of all, I loved the book. I could not put it down. I want to ask you, first of all, what brought you to the story? What was the thing that made you decide you were going to do this book?
In a word, it was the spies. When I found out about the spies working in the Manhattan Project, especially the fact that one of them was a teenager, that's what pulled me in. And I started with that very small kernel of a story, and then it got bigger and bigger as I found more elements that I didn't even know about, like the Norwegian commandos and other parts of the story. And I just kind of figured, let me just try to add it all in and see if it makes any sense, you know? My biggest worry was that there'd be too much, but I figured I would just trust the kids and just throw it all in there. Yeah.
Was there anything that you found in your research that you wanted to put in the book but you just couldn't, and that you want to tell us now?
There's always extras, and I think one of the rules of writing is if you don't cut stuff you really love, then what's left isn't as good as it can be or should be, and that's a painful thing. But yeah, I cut a lot of Oppenheimer childhood stories that I really loved, and I cut a lot of the Norwegian stuff, believe it or not, which is a lot of people's favorite part of the book. So I hate to say that, but some of it that just starting to take over the plot, and I felt like I spent enough time there, I need to get back to Los Alamos, back to Moscow, wherever, and so I had to cut a lot of that beloved material.
Is there any supplemental material or anything like that that's available that has some of that stuff available for librarians or teachers? Or
I do school visits and tell kids, especially about cutting the Norwegian stuff, I say you can always email me, and I'll mail you the chapters that I cut, and then you can see if you think I made the right decision or not.
Can red carpet hosts email you as well?
It goes for anybody, yeah. I'd be happy to mail that out to anybody.
Okay, so like I said, I loved the book, and I'm wondering if you have any tricks that you can give writers about how to make something such a page-turner, because it really was. I really could not put it down.
Thanks. I mean, my trick, if it's a trick I don't know, is I try to just picture everything. And I think a fortunate failure in my life was that I tried to write movies for a while, and I say a failure, I didn't really ever make any money at it, but I did it for a few years, and so I learned, and this is just the way I think anyway, a very visual way of telling stories. So picture everything first before you write it. If that's a piece of advice, I don't know, but I do watch it first, and even try to write out my scenes almost like screenplays. And when I get the structure that feels like it's going to move very quickly, then I start writing.
And also this year's Caldecott winner, This Is Not My Hat, both have a strong element of theft in them. So one of the questions we're asking people is, if you could steal any object in the kid-lit universe, in the universe of children's literature, what would that object be, why, and how would you do it?
It goes immediately to Willy Wonka's factory. And you know, there's a lot of stuff there that didn't really work the way it was supposed to, but that gum machine, remember the gum machine?
Yeah.
I know it didn't work out well for the girl who ate the gum, but
Violet Beauregard, yeah.
Yeah. I would steal that for sure. How I would get it out? Yeah, with the elevator, you know, maybe put it in the elevator.
So I have to say, so yeah, the trouble's not getting caught by Willy Wonka, right?
Oh,
because
no, of course, and the Oompa Loompas would know, and yeah.
And it would be a bad end for you, I'm sure.
You did steal something, right? It turned out very badly for them. So yeah, so maybe it's not a great plan.
That's right. So maybe the lesson is honesty is the best policy. Don't steal anything.
Yeah, it was.
Well, we want to thank you a lot for writing your book and also for stopping by the red carpet. It was a pleasure to interview you. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.